morning, fellow zombies. It's about 2:09 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. It is the 18th of July, 2023. It is the Weaver John C. of Roseman, California. Yeah, couldn't sleep any further, so yeah, now I'm still up. I'm still bothered by what old Trump had and the GOP are saying at this point that if anybody the GOP tries to get in and get the coveted Oval Office, shall we say, some of these rules and stages and department eliminations these guys are going to be making just to make sure that there's going to be a one party, one rule. I think I've been talking about this damn thing for weeks. Somewhere in the wind files, I have got to been talking about these things like crazy. Trying to tell people what the hell was going on. I know yesterday I sent a letter over to a vidled to Rachel Maddow, Rachel Maddow of MSNBC. And she was making a lot of sense, a lot of points being made, and it just irritated was not the. It was like a slap in the face and a kick in the ass. I kept saying in my videos that I wish I had the ghosts of the past, those who fought and died for our country's survival, our country's freedom, our way of life, our principles, our anything and everything that made us who and what we're supposed to be. I mean, granted, we've got a lot of interpretations of what America was supposed to be. We have this thing called pluralism. We were allowed to express our ideas, our ideals, to pursue, to chase down our dreams, to fulfill them. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That was the thing that the catchphrase in Declaration of Constitution, one of those two, that was basically telling us, or we can do this because we had actually had the freedom for it. The thing of it is, someone's version of it is not compatible enough, or we're not doing it for ourselves. Actually, that dream is someone else's dream, and they're saying that we matter more because we're the elite. We have the personality to do so. We are the small group that's going to be running everything. And here, I kept hearing that the Democratic Party is communist, is socialist, because we believed in free programming. And I said so in other videos, it costs. It's not free. And people just don't understand that shit. So we go back over this again? I mean, can we go back over this again? You want your services. You want your basic services. You want your services regarding power. You want your services regarding garbage. You want your services regarding law enforcement. You want your services concerning about fire. You want your services for this or that. For roads. For the communication towers. It costs. And it comes out through our taxes. Either from the stuff we buy at stores or online, our property taxes. those kind of those kind of funds gets distributed locally, statewide, and federal. They all take taxes out of us in one way or another. A lot of people are saying that we don't like to pay the taxes, but we want the services. You can't have the services without paying for them. It's simply not done. That's not economics. That's slavery. You want the fire department? You got to pay through the taxes. You want your protection? You got to pay for it. You want subsidies for your food? You got to pay through that. You want your retirement? Pay for that too. It pays. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. The money comes out of us, our own contributions. If we want the free education, if we want the free education for our kids, we have to pay through for the taxes. If we want to go back to college ourselves, we pay through the taxes. I'm going through college. I'm paying through taxes, one way or another. Money somehow circulates to different accounts to where I'm actually able to go and use the state funds that had already been collected a long while ago through taxes. So I can try to benefit myself, enrich myself. Therefore, I can try enriching others when I'm finished or in the process. Something I'm dancing around and saying, I got everybody's tax money. Now, that's the Republican right now. That's the GOP. The Democrats are saying, no, we also need the FAA to have updated computers. We need the airports to be updated. We need updated rails. We need things that matter the most to us. And if we can't get those, we're not going to get those because other people are saying, no, 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 you can't have that. I want more of the money. I want more of the pie. I want. But they're still a socialist. You're still a socialist because you want everything free. They gotta look at the dictionary. What the hell socialism and communism is. Because unfortunately, even Joseph McCarthy back in the 50s had tried to pin this on everybody else. He had this power trip like we've got right now. Oh, we've got it overblown in our century right now. We've got it overblown. Back in the 1950s, you had a senator with that kind of ego running in his head that he wants to find things that are un-American, and if not, he wants to humiliate and control them because it made him feel good. Maybe somewhere in his mental deficiencies, he was that much of an egomaniac and that much dependent upon everybody else. He was that much of a bully in his life. I'm trying to do a psychoanalysis of a lunatic here, and I'm looking at what we've got is hundreds of lunatics spawning more and more maggots all over the place. But they call the Democrats and they call liberal-minded socialists and communists. Because what? It's not exactly the free stuff we're looking for. We're also looking for education. We're trying to see whether or not we actually can increase our craniums a bit. And thus try to help out our fellow man one way or another. We ain't perfect. There's no way we're saints. There's no way. But what pisses me off is not being called a communist and socialist because I know the other person just doesn't know the difference. They didn't bother to learn. They chose. It was always the choice. When you're in school, you would have been drilled like crazy. You had to continue to go to school every single day. Your school depended upon your attendance. The attendance equaled money. Money coming from the state to be fed into your school so they would keep up with the education, hopefully with the supplies. But the way educational systems were back then, including now, the teachers still have to cough up the money just to get their own supplies for their school. Because sometimes it just wasn't there. The PTA was there for, and the PTSAs were supposed to be there for assisting the school and the school districts. Apparently not. But they should have been, because they should have been helping out with fundraising at this point over here of getting more and more funds needed uh, to get the school enriched. They needed supplies for books, for pens, for paper. We've forgotten about that. We've forgotten about that. And we have an orange gas bag in the Trumplican Party. They're no longer the GOP. They're a Trumplican Party. They don't even realize it. They don't care to realize it. They got absent-minded, absolute followers out there who are more zombie than I am. I joke about the zombie all the time because of being sleep deprived, emotionally screwed up, right? But these guys are fixated. These folks are fixated. They're on absolute worship. They have become a cult, worshiping the Trumplican Party, one form or another. And they think that they're going to be living what kind of life, I don't know. All I know is I see the elitism and the ego have expanded so much. Megalomania is just the tip of the iceberg. You probably say, how dare I say these things? Well, I'm an observer and I'm observing too much of this. I'm observing my country falling back into a weird timeline that we hadn't shared as much or we hadn't survived enough of. We're going back into a mode where our democracy is severely tested, where the Constitution has to matter, and it has to be all or nothing on this. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about God? What about God? There was a reason why the Constitution was created over 240 something years ago. And people always forget this because they don't bother. They don't care. They got too much apathy and indifference. And they're happy rolling around in their ignorance. It's like pigs in slop. They're happy when they get fed by the Trumplican Party. All this cultism and maggot crap. Blame it on the other guy, but they don't take responsibility, accountability, and they're not responsible. They don't care. They don't care. They're happy in their own stink. There's a choice in that. There's a choice in that. And they've chosen it. They don't care. They want to be taken care of like pigs in a pen. It's no wonder these guys ended up for Farmer John. I don't get it. When America has to be put into the slaughterhouse just so somebody else can make ham slices or crispy bacon out of us. And somebody else is going to be outside enjoying the fruits of the labor of slaughtering a country and frying it up in a frying pan. What was the great American experiment? Someone else's dinner. No, it doesn't mean I'm using a hungry metaphor here because I'm hungry. No, I'm not. trying to get you guys to understand. America is up for the slaughter right now. We're heading towards the slaughterhouse right now. Every ideal that we had, every thing that made us our country, every one of us added to the dream. Every one of us added to the dream, but now we're no longer. And the enemies of our country are ready for the feast. Hotel California, the Eagles song. There was a section of it nearly at the last of the song. It freaked out the guest who checked into the hotel about a party happening. And they're seeing this beast. They're seeing these people going, and they're ready to slaughter this damn thing. This poor, dumb beast wants to get the hell out of there, wants to survive, wants to live. But everyone else wants to skewer the damn thing and kill it. And the guest wants to get the hell out of there. Oh yeah, he can check out, but he can't leave. Welcome to hell. Welcome to our hell. When I have people falling in line with the grifters, they think they're going to help them like crazy. It's like being conned out of anything and everything that you've got, and you don't even realize it. You don't care. This is the one thing that's going to be helping you out. This is going to be the one being that's going to be it and everything else. Screw to them skepticism. We're talking about Jim Jones' situation. We're talking about David Koresh. We're talking about these lunatics out there who have convinced people left and right. We're not talking about just maybe 20 or 30 or 100. We're talking about millions of people being convinced. No matter how much word that corporate media, or potentially the progressive media as well, has been trying to put out there, it doesn't matter. The people aren't getting it. They're not listening. They got wax in their ears. They got their eyes blinded. And their tongues are muted. Or worse than the three monkeys. We're being led off the damn cliff. Our country's in trouble, and yet we're so happy about being blissfully ignorant about things. We're being led off the damn cliff. It's no wonder the guy who's sighted and everyone else is blind. He's the king, right? He's the one laughing at your ass. Because he's the one letting you fall through. He wants to get his power out of you. He wants to get everything and anything out of you. How does that grab you? You think it's a negative video? It gets worse and worse. The owl adage is still correct. Those who fail to study history are doomed to repeat it. No matter how many times we can redress that phraseology, we're still doing the same damn mistake over and over again. In the 12-step halls, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting the same results. I guess we're all insane. We're all praying for different results, but we're still doing the same damn thing. And we're just not getting it. Nor did we care to. But don't blame me for this. I'm not the one with the hands tied or the eyes sealed shut or my ears unplugged. I'm hearing the screams. I'm seeing the lunacy going on. I got a tongue that's still talking about it. My hands are still loose. I'm still walking around. And yeah, maybe I started way too late in my life. But I'm saying it now. We don't regain our sanity. We don't regain our identity as Americans. Our enemies win. Our country's dead. They got control. They're pulling the strings. We're all dancing around like damn Geppettos. Screw Pinocchio. Pinocchio's laughing his head off as he's burning his carcass off and someone else is spitting fire. No, Geppetto, the one who made Pinocchio, he's the one that's dancing around wondering what the hell went on. Say hello, America, to the strings being pulled. Puppets to the end. We can't regain our humanity by being someone else's puppet. I'm not saying we rise up with arms because everyone else keeps expecting that. That's not going to help us. They want to blame. That side wants to blame everybody, but they don't have solutions. Our solutions, we have to trust each other. We have to trust ourselves. We have to remember what our ancestors had fought and died for. What was the dream? We need to know that dream again. Our country is not supposed to be perfect or complete. It is supposed to grow. It is supposed to advance. It's supposed to learn. We are a child. But right now, we are a child in trouble. And if we don't wake up from this damn nightmare, say goodbye to the great American dream. Wake the fuck up.